Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today we have to talk about the announcement of the new edition of Warhammer 40k Kill Team. Because since the moment that I saw this box, I really wanted to share my first impressions with all of you because I liked a lot the contents of this box and I was very happy when I saw those miniatures. We're going to see them in Warhammer 40k for sure. So of course, as always, I invite you to let me know in the comments what you think about this new box. Hivestorm is a launch box, which of course means that it's full of contents. We're going to have the core rules that they are going to tell us how to play Kill Team in the new edition. We are going to have a dossier with all the rules for the miniatures that we can find inside of this box. We have two full kill teams, we have terrain, we have tokens, we have extra features like things that we can use in the games. And of course we have the card packs with missions and all of that. So yes, it's quite full of content, but of course right now we can clearly talk about the terrain and the miniatures because that's going to be the most interesting part. And let's start talking about the miniatures. The first kill team that we can find in this new box are the Tempestus Aquilons, and I have to say that I'm happily surprised with what Games Workshop did with these miniatures, because I was checking each one of them individually right now before doing the video, and there's not one that I don't like, or I don't like the pose or how it looks. So I'm very surprised, and I really like what they did with them. Because all of these miniatures that we can see here, they can fly. They have the things in the back. We know that they can fly. But usually, or at least lately, Games Workshop with the miniatures that can fly, they have been sculpting them in a way that they are over some terrain and they are like doing some equilibriums. It's like very weird, and some of them look very nice. Some of them have like weirder poses. I had this complaint, for example, with the Sanguinary guard that I talked recently about them, but in this case they all have like really good poses, and some of them are even walking, and I love that because yes, they can fly, but they don't need to be flying all the time, and they are in a combat situation. So of course I like to see poses interacting with the terrain, but they don't have like to be in a weird way trying to do weird things on top of some terrain. No, they have very nice poses. For example, let's take a look at the Tempestor. That's a very nice heroic pose, and it doesn't need to be flying. No, it can be there on the floor with the power sword. This miniature looks super nice, and I like what I see here, especially if we compare these ones with the previous Tempestus Aquilons that we can find in Warhammer 40k at the moment. Those ones, they are not that old miniatures. When you look at them, they are not that old. They don't feel super old that they need a refresh. So I can see that with the miniatures that we can see here, we have like a nice upgrade and they look much nicer. I like that the weapons are a little bit smaller and the armor is a little bit smaller, so it feels more tactical, and I like this a lot, or at least it's like my personal preference. I like much more how these miniatures look. I think that my favorite one is this one, the Gunfighter, because I don't know why, but I like a lot when I see a miniature with two pistols. I know that it's like a very silly concept, but I don't know, I like when I see that, and I go again with the same thing about the pose. Yes, this miniature can fly, but he's standing on terrain, like steady. He's steady on terrain, shooting with steady body, so he can aim properly. I like these kind of things, and I like a lot how these miniatures look. I can say exactly the same with the Gunner, for example, because he's carrying like a more heavy weapon, and we can see that he's casually walking with it. I like that pose a lot. I hope that there will be more different weapons for the Gunner in the sprue. It's always like this in Kill Team, or at least usually, that there's like a lot of options for customization. And I hope that it's going to be like that in these ones. Of course, we need to see the sprues on how they are going to be, but I like a lot what I'm seeing here. Same with the Marksman. I mean, it's not super unique, it's the typical sniper with typical sniper pose shooting, so there's nothing super unique, but it looks nice. And I especially like that the weapon is not huge, because this is something that we usually see in Warhammer 40k, that there's like very big weapons, but in this case they feel perfectly proportionate to the miniatures, and I like that. Here I have my first small complaint, super small, and is that the precursor is supposed to be like close combat specialist, but it's carrying only a knife, you know. I will expect something more combat focused, like something bigger maybe. Funny, because earlier I was saying that I like that the weapons were not super big, and now I'm asking for bigger weapons. Funny, very funny. But I don't know, I like it a lot. I like how it looks. I like that there's like the proper position for the knife on the chest. So I like that. I like these kind of small details. Like, yes, we can see that these are specialists. They have the same type of armor, but still there's something about them that make them, each one of them, individually unique when you look at them. That's good. I like the Grenadier a lot because it's like chunkier and it's full of grenades, and from a miniature that it's called the Grenadier, I kinda enjoy that, seeing all the grenades around, like he's going to throw grenades because he's the Grenadier, and I like that. It's fun. And then to finish with the humans, we have the troopers that I'm going to say the same. I like the poses, I like the weapons, I like the armor, I like a lot the color scheme even, so they look very nice. I'm like happily surprised. I have never been that interested into Kill Team. I have friends that play Kill Team. They always mention that it's an awesome game and that I should try it at some point. But you know, it's like this, like maybe one day. But here I'm seeing that there's like super cool kill teams, and it's much easier to have like a proper kill team than a 40k army. So for sure one day I'm going to try, and I think that I like a lot how this specific kill team looks, and I don't know, they look great, and I like a lot what I'm seeing here. And before I forget, we have a servo entry. And I like the possibility of having different weapons, because this is what I was saying about the Kill Team, that there's like a lot of customization, a lot of choices, and I like a lot to have like different choices for the weapons here. I cannot wait to see what they are going to do, but in terms of the miniature and assembling and such, I think that they all look very nice and very good. As I said, I love what they did here. I love this Kill Team. I don't have complaints, like major complaints. I'm in love. And the second kill team in this box are the Vespids, and I have to say that at the beginning of this week I was complaining that I didn't like at all the upgrade that they did for the Sanguinary guard of the Blood Angels, but in this case we have again very old miniatures that they got an upgrade, and in this case I have to say that they did great. This is an awesome upgrade for these miniatures. Because let's take a quick look at how the Vespids used to look in the past, and we can see that these miniatures were clearly outdated, and now we have brand new miniatures that they look exactly like they should look. Humanoid insects with the wings, and their heads are super similar of how they used to be. So I can see an upgrade here. I like a lot what I see here, and I especially love that they kinda remind me of Tyranids in a way that we have wings, we have soft parts and more hard parts like proper insects. And yes, this is fun because we can apply like a huge quantity of different color schemes, and all of them, they are going to look good on them, and that's great because that will allow us to have like a lot of customization options in terms of how they look, and that's great. Here individually they are not that different one from each other, but still they look very nice because of course we have different war gear, we have different poses, different things that they are carrying, different weapons, so it's nice. And again, I like a lot the poses because if we take a look at these two, for example, one of them is not even flying and the other one is not flying, it's like it stopped flying, and that's nice because they have like these nice action poses, and we have also nice more calm walking poses, and I like that. So here we have the Sky Blast and the Strain Leader, and we can see that the weapons look like made by the Tau, and that's great because this is an alien fighting for the Tau, so that's really nice. They all are part of the greater good, and they have like this nice helmet that reminds me of the Tau a lot, and it's nice to see that similarity there, that connection between the range of the miniatures, because of course these Vespids are going to be part of a lot of Tau armies. Again, we have an equivalent of a sniper, and it has like a nice sniper pose. We have another miniature with a really nice action pose. I like a lot what I'm seeing here. I especially like a lot this one because from the whole kill team of the Vespid, I think that this one is the one that looks the more unique, because yes, they are humanoids, insects, so they have like the exoskeleton on the outside, so I guess that it's going to be hard and protect them. But this one is carrying Tau armor. Well, it's Tau made armor for Vespid, I guess, and it looks very nice. I cannot wait to see what's the purpose of this specific miniature, because I like a lot how this one looks, and I really like the pose. It's like it has a strong presence. Here we have warriors, and even if they don't look that different from each other, because I mean these are based on insects, and when you took an insect and you take another and you compare them, if they are the same species, there's not much difference between one and the other, or at least they are not super noticeable. So I'm happy that when I look at these specific Vespids, there's this consistency, like they all have like a super similar type of miniature, but they are different. They are having different poses. They have like a different kind of vibe. But of course, with the Vespid, we have this drone, and here I have a flying pose, I guess. I don't even know if that's a flying pose. These are the poses that I hate the most, because it doesn't look like it's flying. It looks like it just crashed against that debris on the battlefield. I don't like how this one looks. But I'm happy that if I want to complain, I will just complain about the small Tau droid. It's not that I'm complaining about the Vespids or the Tempestus Aquilons. It's no, I'm just complaining about the smallest thing that I can complain about. So yes, there's 22 miniatures. I love the poses of 21 of them. With this last one, it's not that attractive to me, but still minor complaint. And now here you can see the scenography that we will get with this box if we decide to get it. And I know that probably some people will complain that, oh, another box with ruined cities. But I don't think that it's that bad, because since I have been following Warhammer 40k when I came back to the hobby, I barely have seen ruined cities. I have seen like a lot of different things. Like I can see that they are trying to have a lot of different scenarios and a lot of different localizations and make each battlefield to look different. And I'm okay with going back to some city ruins, and I have to say that I like a lot the scenography that comes here. And I don't know, I have to admit that I'm very tempted by this box, because as a whole it looks quite like a nice deal in terms of contents. And of course, if we play Warhammer 40k, I like Warhammer 40k a lot, so of course at some point I was going to be tempted by Kill Team as well. And here I have to say that I like a lot the terrain. I like a lot the both kill teams that we can find there, and everything of this can be used in Warhammer 40k as well. These are two armies that I don't play or I don't collect, but still I have to say, like, as also someone that I like to collect miniatures and assemble them and paint them, this looks like a very good and interesting box to me. See, this happens to me. When I see something and I like it a lot, I like to come here and share my excitement with all of you, so I'm happy that I did that. And of course, I invite you to let me know in the comments what you think about whatever that you like in this box, or you dislike, or you think that can be improved or not. And if you play Kill Team, I'm even much more interested about your opinion, because yes, I'm very curious about this game right now. I will be checking when this box comes out, and I will see how it is. We will see how things are in the future. And with all of this being said, I do think that next edition of Kill Team looks really good, because they mentioned that they are not going to make huge changes in the rules, and as far as I know, the game right now is very good and well balanced, so that's something that they should have to keep in mind and preserve. So I hope that the game will be continuing going as awesome as it is now. But with all of this being said, these were my first impressions about the box by itself and the contents of it. So I will be paying attention, check how things go, and that's everything for now. And as usual, if you are still here, please consider giving me a like and subscribing. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.